Hello everyone and welcome back to Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. I do have sort of like a guess as to where this is going. I feel like I know what's going on, right? Let me just open up this real quick. So typically in most of the games, right, you typically find out who, well, not find out, but you can guess who actually did it pretty early, right? Either it's within the very first investigation day, or the very first trial, or the day immediately after. I don't think there's been a single exception where you meet the person who did the crime later than that. So judging from that, I can sort of guess what's going on here. I mean, obviously, look, this is Apollo Justice's story, right? So, who the fuck? Oh, Palmerac is the victim. Okay. So, Clavier Gavin, right? This entire thing's going to revolve around Apollo Justice. If Gavin, Mr. Gavin from the first level was this bad guy, his brother might be too. Or he could be the polar opposite, right? It would sort of make sense. We didn't find out Gavin's intentions, like why he committed the murder. So Gavin's definitely going to pop up later throughout this game. If it's not him, I do feel as if she was kind of suspicious, right? I mean, she's marrying into this family firstly, right? She's marrying into this family. Why would she do that, right? She knows it's a crime family. I mean, I'm sure she loves Wacky right? But at the same time, she just seemed kind of suspicious. I know this guy's a pervert, but we already know Paul Maractus was the guy who, like, stole the panties and shit. I don't know. Is there anything I haven't examined here? And this is Miss Sheldoon's noodle stand, obviously. It does say Eldoon in big letters, doesn't it? And that mark on his paper lantern there looks familiar. It's gonna be a little weird telling him what with the corpse and all. Anyway, that wraps up 3 of our cases. That's right. Congratulations, Apollo. And leaves us with 1 case that's worse than all 3 put together. Murder. Alright. So I found them. Oh, I did find the murder weapon yesterday. Okay. Knife is sticking straight into the ground, with the defendant's fingerprints on it, which means you think he stuck it into the victim? I don't know what he did with it, but I don't like it. He didn't stick it through the victim, because we have the autopsy report right here. Damage to brain resulting from bullet wound. The right temple. That right temple is probably going to come in handy. He's probably going to be a witness, and they're going to talk about where he was standing, and I'm like, but actually, there's got to be a good clue or 2 around here. You and your trash cans, go ahead, knock yourself out. Please, can't you see I'm doing my... Huh? Look, another pair of... underwear? Wow, Apollo, you're a genius at finding them. Stop saying that. Wait, these aren't... They're not mine. Could these have been stolen too? Okay. So, have you met the defendant? No. Visiting hours are almost over at the detention center. You might think about wrapping up here and heading over. Good idea. I don't know what good it will do. We have a witness and a knife with prints. Have I mentioned I've got a bad feeling about this? Don't worry. It's like a right tradition. Some traditions I can live without. I love when the game guides you like that. Now I know that I have to go. Is the lady going to be here? She's not. Okay. Okay, so it'll be the agency, and then immediately after the agency, we're able to go to detention center. June 15th, detention center. Visitor's room. Sorry, meeting hours for the day are all done. But we still have 3 minutes. I'll put in your request, but don't expect anything. The father's talking in the private room with him. The father, the leader of the gang. The father? You mean like a priest? I mean the suspect's father. Mr. Winfred Big Wins Kataki himself. That's someone I care to meet. Die, you! You're the one on your way out, old. Ah, they're here. Oh, shit. Whoa, this guy radiates power. Power. With a cute apron? You Wocky's lawyer? Yes, sir. Well, I'm Big Wins Kataki, fourth head of the Kataki family. Capiche? Actually, I came to speak to your son, Mr. Justice. Yes? My son's innocent. He killed no one. If he were found guilty, it wouldn't be good. Capiche? Yes, I'm all about capiching. Capiche loud and clear. You gotta do more than just understand to make it. You'll learn, though. Even if the lesson comes at the end of your short life. I don't feel so good. What's the big idea, old man? Oh, you can't treat me like a kid no more. Not now. You know, I wanted to go to the clink. I like it here. You must be Wocky. A G's not a G till he does hard time, Bizoy. You'll see. When I get out of here, things will change. Silence. My apologies, Mr. Justice. He's usually such a nice boy. Forgive me if I have a hard time believing that. Huh. You can't take me under your wing this time, old man. You heard me. I don't need no trial. I did it. I think that's enough for today, Mr. Justice. Don't let me down tomorrow. Ooh, court time? Court time? Come on, man. Let me go to the court. So much for talking to our client. Well, we made so much progress today. We even found those. I had fun, at least. Of course, the biggest mystery of all remains. How am I supposed to build a case for the trial? Oh, almost forgot. It's time for my show. Tonight, I'm performing at the Wonder Bar. You should come check it out. To be continued. Nice. I was actually really close yesterday. I could have just finished the game there. Not the game, but the little area. Let's save this right here, just in case I'm not actually recording. Yeah, we're continuing. Next chapter! Yes, court case. June 16th, 9:46 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Huh, Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Was the old foot from, Oh no, he twisted his ankle from the car. I was gonna say, was it from the end of the last game? When he fell off that bridge? Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine. As long as you're there, Trucy. Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes Justice. Started my voice training at 5 this morning. Oh, do some now. I want to see. Here. Huh? Oh, okay. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. That sounds more like a self-mantra than voice training. I'm fine. I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's Wocky. Good morning. Yo, sup? Hit me with the guilty verdict, G. See if I care. You just hang loose and let things go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Wocky, don't be running your mouth like that again. See, that's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pit. You've absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Sounds like they've both been voice training too, Apollo. My worst fears realized. The trial is starting, and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. June 16th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 4. Mumble. Oh, Gavin's my opponent. Court is now in session for the trial of Wocky Kataki. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready to rock and roll, Judge. One second. I don't know what voice I gave him. Ah, it's him, the guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor? It's Mr. Gavin's brother. Long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Were you taking a leave of absence? You know that little band I started in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say nine to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, yeah? I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial. Not to worry, Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, yeah? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my brother? I knew it. It was worth canceling a show or two. Understood. You may give your opening statement to the court. Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law. That's no way to get the crowd jumping, Judge. They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom. Achtung, baby. Today we play it my way. What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down, to prosecute. This is crazy. The victim, Hal Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. What in the world was a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe. You will only find that out by asking the defendant right here, right now. Because it's an undeniable truth that he shot the victim. What do you mean, undeniable? If you were to glare at anyone, Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. This crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see. Very well. Please admit this witness to the court. Oops, fucking nerd. 9, not yet. First, there's a little matter to be cleaned up. Could you talk without the accompaniment? I swear I could see the guitar for a second. What is it, Prosecutor Gavin? The motive, Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic? Objection! Not so fast. The defendant doesn't have to explain that. Oh? But what if the defendant specifically requests to do so, as he did this morning? I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said. What? What is right? They always say that, on stage, you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly? Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. So, you, son, are the defendant. Wocky, are you? I ain't your son, old man. You step to a kataki, you must be prepared to step strong. You step to a public official, you best be prepared to step in a jail. You gotta hand it to him. Wocky sure has guts. It's not his guts I'm worried about. Well, then, the court will now hear testimony on the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself. He's gonna say something, like, I don't know, something about him not getting shot. That's my guess right here. I'll tell you one thing, that director was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my ops, something bad. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye. So I gotta go in and get another doc to patch me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night, know what I'm saying? See it? You're saying you were one of the victim's patients? A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street, true dat? I tell you one thing, that doc was whack. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I already know. I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all of this. You didn't go to his pad. He was murdered at the hospital, dog. I'll still press everything. I'll tell you one thing. The doctor was a quacker. I'm not gonna read this. I already did. First of all, the word you're looking up is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor. Who asked you, Pointy Locks? Just who do you think you are? Your lawyer? Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple. Someone had to show him what's what. By someone, you mean, was there anyone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you and me. You better ask somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made up my own mind and did what had to be done, straight gangster style. But why were you so mad at this doctor? Yo, sit back and listen while I drop it, J-Man. I was in the clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad. Operation? So you were a patient at the Maractus clinic half a year ago. For what reason? I had what you might call a mark of honor. Can you explain precisely what... No. Can you explain precisely what was wrong? We had a little run-in with the rival's family, Rivales, or whatever. That's when I pulled a jack move. And ran into an ambush. He busted a cap right into me. According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting, and ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time, by yourself. Hey, I was more than a match for those guys. So you were carried to the Maractus clinic from there. Apparently, he was shot in the heart. Shot in the heart. And he's to blame. I can't catch these bullets. I can catch bullets between my teeth. Sorry, jeez. But I never learned how to catch them with my heart. The bullet stopped just short of my thumper. You know what I'm saying? I would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet. So, as you say, the surgery was a failure. That ain't all of it, Holmes. And then he just lets me go, without a word. See you later, bye. So I gotta go in and get another doc to patch me up again. Which doc? So this bullet is still... You know it. I can still feel it. Right there in my chest, pressing up against my heart. Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hate singles. Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice. Word, J-Man. With no accident, that's for shizzle. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying? You went to his pad. Did you have an appointment to meet with the victim in the park, perhaps? You had in your mind, who makes an appointment to get the drop on someone? I came ready to fight my way into that clinic face. Shortest way to the clinic from my place is through that park. Know what I'm saying? Is that true? That's not even true. Is it? Oh, I suppose there's a shortcut. He's right, that does seem to be the shortest path. Yeah, it was. Cold walking through the park. And he comes popping up out of nowhere, right before my eyes. I figured someone on high was looking out for me, know what I'm saying? That sounds bad right from the get-go. Well, there won't be any get-go if we don't get some more information. Right. First we gather the facts. Time enough for despair later. Okay. Whacker. Sometimes show what's what. Operation. There you go. What do you mean he just let you go without a word? What do you think it means? It's whack. That's what. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad. It sounds as though her doctor wished to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go. He's a liar. Straight up, he's a badder G than me. It seems that there were issues with this doctor. Man, putting him down is like doing the world a favor. Wocky, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo. Back straight. But why did this mistake only come to light that day? It was found during the family health checkup. The family checkup? That was the wackest thing of all. All his G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away, Bazooey. Relief to hear. Eh? What's a relief? Oh, did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you. What? Yes, and Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life. No way! That's whacked! There's proof. Your checkup report. Ooh, I need to look at that. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. Is that true? Okay, yeah. You're almost as careless as he was. Wait. Oh, it's starting to piece together. Okay, someone in his family wants him gone, right? Someone who went to the checkup, who saw this file. Yeah. Oh, his father already knew. Could it be? Could it be? I mean, his eyes are darkened. I can already envision, like, his eyes lighting up and stuff, you know? I think it's him. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started. Started? We've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness. Wocky sure is quiet all of a sudden. I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy? Who the fuck are you? So, you will tell us your name and occupation. Who the fuck is this? My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation, oh, shit, dude. Profits, under which definition I must confess to being unemployed. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of identity, which is commonly attached to the notion of occupation, and once we have accepted this reality, we see that our confusion is not just called per se, but derives from the vagueness inherent in all by which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my... Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today. Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime. You ask, quite simplistically, what I saw. However, we must understand that Homo sapiens possess two eyes. These designed to receive and interpret data, sending images... Witness testimony. A night in the park. That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping, when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand, he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You are incorrect, you stupid stickler. Was there anyone else in the park at that time? I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this. The court accepts this into evidence. At the crime scene, 2 rounds were fired. 2 rounds? 2 rounds were fired? Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness. Yes, Your Honor. Tracy? Why are you staring like that at the witness? That man... I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before. It's Miles Edgeworth, in disguise. Okay. That is incorrect, Mr. Stickler. Phew. If that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing, I see? Or Justice? Huh? Oh, objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice. Apollo, pace yourself. This trial is not over yet. Right. Look at this. The autopsy report? Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right. Problem. Yes, the problem is the location of the entry wound. The location? You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not? I've already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometric absolute. What do I mean by this? For example, the deflection of a meter is the wavelength of light emitted by a krypton particle, as we all know. In addition, it is well-known fact that krypton particles are rare and invisible to naked eye, which points to a basic fallacy in your... Mr. Justice? Mr. Justice, yes? What's your objection to these krypton particle thingies? This is the big time. You are obsessed with something so small? You disappoint me. No, I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here. Do tell. Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple. Temple? Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? Can I... It is, right? Finally!
Objection!
Justice. Justice. Yes? Your tactics are outdated, trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. Phoenix Wright, was it? Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place, according to this testimony. Hey, her forehead. Forehead? Let us imagine you are walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do to her forehead? Well, I guess I would try to stop them. You probably shout, "Stop!" And you, Freudian. Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eep!" And you, Stickler. What did you shout, I wonder? If the victim turned his head at the last moment. Ah, yes. Thank you for jogging my memory. It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required. Okay. Night in Park Part 2. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. "Cease this at once, you two!" I cried with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. I see. So you attempted to stop the crime. Indeed. With composure. Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. But that doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let's consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it, stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report. That is true. That does seem to be the case. Case. Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. This fucking Stickler, man. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Alright, let me just press these. So you saw a raised pistol. Weren't you frightened? It can be said, we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action. That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot. Eh? You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind. It actually looks like he had no idea he was in danger. Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed. "Seize this at once, you two," I cried, with composure. Are you sure both men were able to hear your voice? They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park. And the victim responded to that clarion call. Wait. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned? Indeed, I would say about the same time, to be precise. And the victim didn't ask you for help? It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step. I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Don't say that too loud, Trucy, please. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly? He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed. He simply couldn't believe what he had done. He shot, he panicked, calm and tale, but true. Unfortunately, before I could take further action, tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. You didn't try to apprehend the criminal? It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time. Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo? What? The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away. According to the testimony, that's what happened, yes. In that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't find. Find something that we didn't find. Find something? Find what? I like that contradiction. Kind of sad to see it go. Not as sad as I feel. What do we need to do now? At least the testimony is getting a little clearer. She's right. Maybe we can find something to use this new testimony. Oh, wait. So it was tossed aside, but it was shot twice, right?
Objection!
If it was tossed aside, then it couldn't have been fired once more. Wait a second. Tisk, another misleading request. Yet your soul beholden to your own mode of discourse. You can't see how it affects you. Come again? Wait a second, you say. A second? Are we intended to wait just that? A single second? 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes 35 seconds, that... Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor. Am I to understand you are objecting to the length of a second? Yes, I mean, no. Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. Oh yeah, it would have been wiped, huh? A common ploy, made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. Oh. The little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little. Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fraulein? Huh? What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? Got it? I didn't think of that, Apollo. Well, Mr. Justice, could the killer have been wearing gloves? No way. There was a knife. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remained, which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol. That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, therefore, any of your precious objections? What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said? Huh? Isn't what obvious? When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Wocky drop a murderous weapon. Well, that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Wocky threw away. You're right. He's just confused because a pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong. Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. Well, it is indeed true that once in my youth I wrote a love letter in my own blood that was seized by the teacher and posted on the blackboard for all to see, and for this, the appellation poor might well be prefixed to my name. Okay. I stumble over my words, I can't get it. What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this?